guys can see me or not because I just set the camera up. But today's daily dose of salt is about desperate to win. And the analogies I'm using is golf, because I like to play golf. So I was thinking about last week's Masters tournament in Augusta, and I was thinking about who won and who lost. And I was thinking about the two philosophies of business, one being how hard can you hit it, how far can you hit it, how great can you be, how loud can you be, how competitive can you be, how fast can you be, versus, I don't know, something perhaps a little more graceful, a little more humble, something with some pace and consistency to it. And so the two people I was thinking about was Bryson DeChambeau, who some of you may know as an up-and-coming professional golfer who's loud, angry, criticizes, bangs his clubs around when he hits a bad shot, tells everybody how he's going to beat everybody. And I think he tied for 27th in the Masters. He hits it further than anyone else. He's like a unicorn when it comes to how far he hits the ball, due to some new training and techniques that he's picked up. And because of that length, how far he hits the ball, he thinks he's going to win every tournament. And he's won a couple, and he'll win a couple more. But he's not going to be somebody that goes down in the history books as one of the greatest of all time, like maybe Dustin Johnson, who did win the Masters with grace, humility, stayed in his own lane, didn't run his mouth, didn't brag, didn't trash talk about other players, just played his game, stayed focused on his game, and won the Masters with the lowest score in the history of the Masters ever. So the analogy in business is you have people, you have trainers, you have top leaders who like to be the best, they like to be the fastest, they like to hit it the furthest, they like to brag about all that. And then you have the people that just stay in their own lane, they stay with gratitude and grace, they play their own game, they're collaborators, the only people they compete with are themselves, not everybody else. And here's what I can tell you about those kind of people in business. They outlast the braggers. They outlast them by decades. You know, flying is also one of my passions, and there's an awesome cliche about flying and pilots that there are old pilots, like me, there are bold pilots, but there are very few, if no old, bold pilots. And the same is true for business. If you're desperate to win, if you're reckless to win, if you are a unicorn, like you can hit it further than anybody else, well, that's not necessarily to your advantage, especially, folks, if you're in the duplication people game, where the objective is not to see how far you can hit it, not, for example, to see how many people you can recruit, but how can you inspire all the masses who aren't unicorns to do twice as much or 3 times as much as they're already doing? Like if you're in the network marketing business, it doesn't matter that you can sponsor 1,000 people. It's actually kind of ridiculous, and who cares? Okay, you're a unicorn. But can you get 1,000 people to sponsor one? Can you get 1,000 people to sponsor one? Not necessarily just because you sponsor 1,000, can you get 1,000 people to sponsor one. So I encourage you to look at Dustin Johnson as your role model. That's going to be me on this tee shot right here on the hardest hole on the golf course. Gratitude, empathy, humility, competing only with me. Watch me top it into the creek right here. Oh my gosh. That just might go down there about 400 yards.
No, not really. Probably about 230. And that's my message for Daily Dose of Salt. And I'll leave you with this cliche. Don't brag about it. Be about it. See you tomorrow.